Because I have like 5 different VCR things, and I'm just like, oh no, which one is it?
Shit.
All right.
All right, we are live.
Oh my god.
Hey, everybody.
I just realized we're live, and I'm still wearing my wife beater.
Do you want to take a moment?
Oh, to just strip in front of the camera? No, I'm good.
Yes. All right,
good.
Cool. Good.
No live strippings.
Damn. Well, I'm sorry, live viewers. Hojin, you're not getting a show today, buddy.
Nope.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the VCR Gaming Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Matt, and stabilizing the ladder for which I am standing on to hang shit in my game room is Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Doing all right, man. It's been quite a weekend. Been on call this weekend, and it's just been one of those. Actually, no, it hasn't been that bad. I was pretty busy yesterday in terms of not only just on call stuff, but also deciding to do that yard work life. And then I made the mistake of forgetting that even though it wasn't that hot out, mowing your lawn, and then, especially when you got as big as yard as I do, and forgetting how much the sun sucks.
Yeah.
And it just really heats you up, that I was just like extremely drenched after I was done.
It was like 70% humidity and like 85 degrees or some shit.
Yeah.
And 100% sun.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm just glad I got it done yesterday, because I for sure as hell wasn't going to do it today. And just been doing a lot of cleaning, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and playing this new game that just came out, I guess.
Really? A new game came out this week? That's weird. I didn't even hear about it. That's odd.
I don't know. I guess it's a game called God of War, which we're going to get into a little bit later.
Spoilers, that's what this episode's about. Uh-oh.
I mean, I have it in the title. So
if you didn't already know, then, well, your second grade teacher screwed you up.
What about you, man? You had a really cool day yesterday. Way better than my day.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely better than your day. It still kind of felt a little bit like work, but it was fun. It was a good time. So let's back up a little bit. Through the week, I did nothing at all. Did a lot of cleaning the house, and that was about it. Yesterday, though, however, I went to a local event. Now, we didn't put this out immediately, or I'm sorry, we didn't put this out on social media because I wasn't 100% sure I was going to go. And this was more of a trial type to see how it goes, and just wing it. And I went over to the Largo Playcon in Largo, Florida. Matt, this is an event that's put on by the city of Largo and a local retro game chain of stores that's called M&M Games.
Oh, I've heard of them.
So last year, Matt, there was this huge event that I went to called MalugaCon.
Yeah.
That we had that was focused on games and gaming, and they didn't bring it back this year. Thank God, because they stepped up, M&M Games in the city of Largo, and they put on an event. Now, it wasn't quite as big or quite as eventful as MalugaCon. MalugaCon was a little bit more of a spectacle, because it was held at the Tampa Convention Center, and this was held over in the Largo. It's the city of Largo. It's like a rec center type thing. But okay. Man, it was really good, and I hope that they do it again next year.
Was there a lot of people?
It was pretty slammed, to be honest with you. It did have its moments. There was tons of, you'd expect a cosplay and things like that.
Yeah.
There was what else? Let's see. They had game tournaments. I know they had Smash going on. They had tons and tons and tons of games set up that you could play, both arcade and consoles.
That's cool.
The Church of Nintendo was there. That's like a local group that puts on events and does like a lot of local gaming and trade days and stuff like that. The Super Michael Bros, Dave Michael, I believe, is the one that runs that now. He has a shop over in the Oldsmar Flea Market, and he does a lot of trade events, and he partners with M&M Video Games and other places to put these on. He was there, had a free trade event, so you didn't even have to pay if you just wanted to go there and trade video games with other enthusiasts. So that was really stinking cool. You didn't have to pay to get in if you wanted to do that. I don't know how he pulled that one out. Yeah. The Church of Nintendo is awesome, Matt. They had all all but like one of their game console setups, they were all on PVM monitors, like, professional CRT monitors with RGB hookups. Like, these guys are no joke.
Oh,
That's what they brought out for the public to play on. Yeah, it was pretty cool. There was lots of cool vendors. Aiden enjoyed it. The facility was great because not only was it the Playcon, which is tons of stuff to do, but it was also there's like a huge rec center there with like all kinds of slides, indoors, outdoors, all kinds of stuff. So like the kids, it was actually a great place to have it. Probably better than the convention center.
Damn, man, that sounds like a lot of fun. So you mentioned cosplay and obviously video games, arcades. Were there any kind of special guests or anything like that, or?
Yeah, the only special guest that I'm aware of that was there was a band out of Gainesville, Florida, and I'm so sorry, everybody. I cannot remember the name of that band off the top of my head. I do apologize. They are pretty cool, though. I did get to hear them right before we left. They had started playing, and they cover, it's like a legit rock band type thing, and they cover all the 80s and 90s video game theme songs and all that, which was pretty impressive, I have to say. And I'm so sorry I can't remember their name right now. I was going crazy there yesterday, going here and there. But that was like one of the guests that was there. I'm not sure if there was any other meet and greets. I didn't really see any. There could have been, but it didn't seem like it was that type of event. It seemed more like it was play a bunch of video games, video game tournaments, some live music, and trade video games and buy video games, to which I feel like M&M Video Games, of course, they were there. It was their event. I feel like they were holding back some of their really good stock. And this is pure speculation, everybody. I really don't know this, but it would make sense if they did. Because I've been to their shops, and they always have good stuff. They always have, like, rare stuff and all that. They always have really good selections. But they had some stuff, some game systems that I haven't seen in their stores recently that they busted out. Like, they had Virtual Boys for sale and some Sega Saturns and stuff like that. Stuff that they always seem to have, like your common stuff, your GameCubes, your Super Nintendos, things like that. But they had some of the obscure stuff for sale there, and they were actually below market price.
Ooh,
and I'm not advertising,
nice.
But they were, not by much, we're talking maybe 5-10%, but they still were, which was amazing to be in an event and have it be cheaper. So pretty stinking neat, man. It was a really good event. I had a great time. Aiden had a good time. Melissa had a good time.
So they go under market price, unlike this other game store we know called Shame Bladers, because we don't want to call them by their real name. Yeah,
not like that guy that goes off of GameStop prices, I believe, on the fly. He doesn't even market. No, these guys, I've talked about M&M before. I've actually did for content for the show. I drugged the family. We went to all of the M&M video game stores around town. There's about like 5.
Yeah.
And they are always super fairly priced. But Matt, the difference between them and Schraders is they have prices marked on their games. They have an inventory system. They know what they have in stock. They know what they don't have in stock. They can order you things. If you
what is this magical thing you're talking about? Inventory?
I know. They have an inventory system. Like, they're legit. And if you and I was there once, and I was like, man, this Pokemon is a little bit high in price, I thought to myself. And I went up to him like, hey, man, is this accurate? Because you have a few other Pokemons, and this is like $20 more. He's like, crap. And this is when the Pokemon games had dropped in price after they went up right before Pokemon Go came out. He's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. He's like, you're absolutely right. He's like, we missed that one. And he re-stickered it right there. Like, super honest. I really like them. If you guys are in the area, this is not a paid advertisement. I don't really even know them or anything like that. I've just frequented there, and believe me, Matt, and you've been too. We've been to all the freaking game shops around town here in the central area, and there's a couple of gems out there, but I would say that the shining stars currently is definitely M&M Video Games. So big shout out to them for putting on an event and for not trying to take advantage of everybody. I think that's probably part of their success.
I know for sure. I'm sorry I missed that, but unfortunately I was on call, as you know, and it good thing I didn't go, because obviously with shit going down yesterday, so that was fun. So.
Always fun. Yeah, we weren't 100% on this event. We were going to try to make it if we could, at least one of us, and you were on call, so you were kind of out. So I went ahead and took up the slack and went out there. Now, something interesting about that, Matt. Not only did I go there, not only did I just give you guys the rundown of what was there, and I got some pickups. I got some good stuff. I'll get to those in a bit when we talk about pickups. I got some really cool shit. But they also were so kind as to the M&M Video Game Store organizer who organized the event by the name of Frank. I got a short interview with him, and David Michael, the guy that organized the trade day and does all the local trade days, I got a short interview with him as well. So you guys can kind of hear it from the guys that put it on and what they think and what they're about. And we'll go ahead and insert that interview right here. And we're back. All right, that was... For all you live listeners, I apologize, but when you hear it on Thursday, we'll have the interviews in there. So, but yeah, so Matt, that's about it for me. I spent the day hanging a bunch of shelves and stuff in the game room. I've been putting them off for forever, and that's really it for me, man. What anything else going on with you before we move on?
I cleaned the grill today. I actually took my grease grate out and all the whatever the fuck you call it, I don't know. And I pressure washed it. And holy shit, even the pressure wash doesn't even clean off some of that crap on there that's just caked on. It's
scary that's in your food because it all just comes from shit that you eat. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're pouring chemicals in there like you're fucking Dexter's Laboratory shit going on, you know?
No, so that's about, I mean, as far as any other shit, I mean, we've been cleaning, and then I just did a bunch of yard work yesterday, and that's really it. Do we want to announce some of the upcoming conventions that we're going to be at?
We absolutely do, Matt. Let me pull that list up, unless do you have it already?
Yeah, I've got the list here already.
Okay.
So we don't know what exact days we're going to be there because we either may be there like on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I don't expect us to be there at all 3 days for some of these conventions.
1 day for sure.
Yeah, it's mainly going to, for most of these, it's mainly going to be 1 day.
Probably a Saturday if I had to guess.
For MegaCon, we probably want to go Sunday.
Okay. I'll take your advice on that.
Because MegaCon on Saturday, oh boy. The good thing, well, so MegaCon's the first one we can mention from May 24th to the 27th. The good thing with MegaCon, it's on Labor Day weekend, so it will be easier to go on a Sunday than...
That's a great point. Now, I'd like to point out this is MegaCon Orlando.
Yeah.
Because we have both of them. So, MegaCon Orlando is next month. It's actually about a month from now. And we're going to hit that up. I think, you know what? Let's just lock in Sunday for that. Let's just say we're going to do a Sunday.
Because, trust me, I've been there way too many times, and Saturdays and Fridays are insanity. It's
excellent.
Even though Sundays can still be a bit crazy, they're just nowhere near the level of Saturdays.
Gotcha. So, okay.
That
makes sense.
The other one, and do we want to mention MetroCon Tampa, what we got already or not yet?
We should. We absolutely should because it is official. So MetroCon is going to be held here at the Tampa Convention. I'm sorry, real quick before we move on to that. MegaCon Orlando is the Orange County Convention Center, everybody. Just so you know. MetroCon is going to be July 19th through the 22nd, and it's going to be at the Tampa Convention Center. And not only will we be there, but we will be official media at this event, won't we, Matt?
I know. That's exciting.
We got our very first press passes as what would you call us? Organization? I don't even know what you'd call it, but we're a media outlet, maybe? is what it would be?
Technically, it would be because we're, outletting the media, in a sense, on a podcast form of entertainment.
True. Yep. So definitely catch us on that one. That one probably, too, it's hard to say what day we're going to go. It'll either be the Saturday or the Sunday. We'll definitely let y'all know beforehand. We'll lock it in.
For sure.
But, any of these events, come out and see us. We're hanging out. We're going to be interviewing. We're going to be talking to people. Pretty cool. What's the next one we're going to try to hit up, Matt?
Next one is going to be Tampa Bay Comic-Con from August 3rd through August 5th at the Tampa Convention Center. So I've never been to this one here before. So that'll be pretty interesting. Either.
It looks pretty legit on their website. It looks pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
This is crazy that there seems to be some type of a con like almost every single month this year. Have you noticed that? That will have game content.
Well, dude,
this is pretty cool.
People make so much, especially those convention centers, they make so much money doing this crap, man.
It's true.
It's insanity. True. And then after that is going to be MegaCon Tampa from September 29th through the October 1st. And I'm curious to see what this one's going to be like, because I've been to MegaCon Orlando. I've been there 5 or 6 times now. I haven't gone in probably the past 3 years, I want to say. But I went like 5, 6 years in a row. But I've never been to the one in Tampa, so I'm really curious on how this one's going to be.
They spaced it out far enough apart so that you're not gonna have a bunch of people burn out on going. But and the fact that there is a Tampa one, it might alleviate some of the Orlando one, because people may skip going to Orlando from this area because they know that it's going to be coming here anyway.
Well, from what I understand, is the MegaCon Orlando is the one they definitely pump more money into. It's the one that's the big event in Florida as far as the conventions go.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, that's why I'm really curious on how MegaCon Tampa is going to be.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we will be there September 29th through October 1st. We will be there one of those days as well. This next one, Matt, I'm going to be hitting up solo. I believe you will be in Georgia doing your Magic Wazubi life, whatever you guys do in Magic.
I will be in Georgia for Grand Prix Atlanta during this time. So I have a special episode for that if you like Magic the Gathering.
Excellent. So this one's going to be called ShadowCon, and it's in the it's the West Shore Grand Hotel, and that's on West Kennedy Boulevard, and that is November 2nd through the 4th. I will hit that one up as well, so you can another opportunity to meet us and hang out.
Heck yeah.
And the final one is the Holiday Matsuri. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
2018.
Matsuri. And it's at the Orlando World Center Marriott. So it's at the Marriott in their conference area. And it's Friday, December 14th through the 16th. That one we should both be able to make it to.
Yep.
So there you go. So there's something almost every single month for the rest of the year that you will be able to come out, hang out, check out events with us. We can talk crap. We can laugh at people, or we can trade games, or we can have a good time, or whatever the case may be. But we will be there, and you guys can hang out.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll be sure to have those dates and the convention names in our show notes, so that way you guys can just see ahead of time when we're going to be somewhere.
Yep. So there you go, guys. We have a huge list there.
You know what's almost scary about this?
What?
We're getting like almost legit here. Like we're
Close.
a real podcast or something.
I know. We got events. We got press passes. We've been to 2 live events now and recorded. It's getting crazy. And you know what else is making it seem real? Matt, drum roll, we have an official t-shirt sponsor, don't we?
Oh, we do. Oh, do you have the t-shirts to show? Because I haven't seen them yet. You got mine, right?
I do. I'll bring it to you on Tuesday. Because I'm off tomorrow.
Oh, fuck
what?
you.
PTO, fuck. Bitches. Suck it.
I didn't approve that shit.
I have to send like 1 email tomorrow. And like that's all I have to do.
Fuck.
So,
goddamn, I forgot. You suck.
Yep. So Tuesday I'll bring it to you. I actually meant to have it in the room with me for the podcast, but I totally freaking forgot it. I'm sorry. I'm going to Instagram them out tonight.
Okay.
Right after the show, I'll Instagram them out. And so our t-shirts are pretty legit. And right now they're for us to wear as we go out to conventions and stuff. We're going to try to get some extras to maybe like do like a giveaway or something like that.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It would. Absolutely. Our sponsor is actually Super Fanboy Brian's consulting company. How about that?
Yeah.
So not only is he the number 1 fan of the show, but he is also our first sponsor. So shout out to Brian. Thank you, buddy. I wore that shit. Proud. And on the back, of course, he's got his business on there. And then we've got representing the podcast in the front. If you guys need anything at all in the Central Florida, especially the West Coast area that's IT related, whether you need repairs, you need some type of a service agreement, you need anything, help, your printer screwed up, your network's jacked up, you need to put something new in place, you just need to know what the right path is, you need to holler at Brian at Solid State Consulting. He has tons of experience. In fact, Matt, we worked with him for years, as a matter of fact, so we can attest to this, that he does know actually what the hell he's doing. And yeah, so shout out to Solid State Consulting.
Solid State Consulting. You can find them at www.yoursolidstate.com. and definitely check out the services they offer because he does a really good job at what he does. And, he'll do anything from small business to 1 to 10 people all the way up to enterprise for, 1,000 plus employees and all that. He does it all for businesses.
And he's experienced. And I'd like to point out that we, aside from the T-shirts, that's the only thing. So we're doing this just because we support Brian very much. He did not pay us for this read, and I'm sorry if you guys are sitting through it, but that's our boy. Help him out. He's local and he knows what the hell he's doing. So that is for sure our recommendation for if you need any of that type of stuff. So moving on, let's see, Matt. What did you play this week besides the main topic?
Besides God of War, I thought I was going to get some World of Warcraft in, but there was like 3 nights this week where I worked late, and I couldn't really get any other gaming in, honestly. And when I did have some time, I just didn't feel like it. So, literally didn't play any other games except God of War, but I kind of want to wait until we both get to talk about it. So I figure let's get into, you have 3 games you played, one of them being God of War. Let's get into your games you played and your pickups, and then let's discuss, let's give our little review of God of War, our little pre-review of it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. So aside from God of War, I played Far Cry 5 again, of course. That game is still really good. With God of War being out, I don't know that I'm going to play it for a while now.
Yeah.
But still really awesome. I've gotten pretty far in there. It's really fun. It's a good playground to blow shit up in. Still like it. Played Fortnite, of course, on Xbox. You know how I do.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. I finally played Fortnite on PS4.
You did?
Yeah, I completely forgot. I played one game and then I turned it off and never want to play it again.
Wait, why? What the hell happened?
Well, Jazzy, my oldest, wanted to see what Fortnite was all about because all the kids in school are talking about it.
Oh my god!
So
yes.
I showed her, and I tried the 50 versus 50 mode that they have, which I gotta say, it's a fun take on the battle royale and all that, but it was just, I don't know. It plays decently on PS4. I can see why a lot of people play it on there, but I don't know, man. We went into this last week. Battle royale games are just not my thing.
So I haven't even tried the 50 versus 50 yet. Was it fun at least? Did it seem like it's doable? Or
it seems fun. Like I think games like this are way better with friends. Like I would not mind playing this game with you, but I cannot play this by myself at all. I just get bored instantly.
I am at the point too, Matt, that unless Aiden wants to play on mobile together where we both play on our phones, or I'm going to play with EJ, Eric, and Cody, I won't play that shit by myself. There's other shit to do. I get you, man. I get you 100%. And I feel the same way. We finally, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but Eric won some money, one of the guys on our Fortnite squad. I think I did mention this.
Yeah, you did.
And he dished it out amongst the squad, and we've been waiting to buy some type of a get up, some type of garb to look uniform, and we ended up going with this like Triceratops outfit.
What?
Like, yeah, and it's pretty ridiculous, which is why we got it. You literally have like
I'm
a
looking
head.
it up right now.
Triceratops.
Yeah,
it has some clever name. I can't think of it. And then like the backpack that you get, or back bling as they call it, is like an egg with a little baby Triceratops flopping around.
I see it. Oh,
it's
dude,
pretty over the top.
It's cute.
Pretty ridiculous. So that's our new squad uniform, if you will. So
it's called Triceratops.
Triceratops, yes. There you go. I knew it was something stupid and clever like that. So shout out to those guys. We had some fun doing that. I'm gonna try and jump on with them tonight. I haven't got to play much this week. I've been somewhat busy. So, all right. That's it for games that I've played. I want to go through the pickups really quick because a few things on here I got at Largo Playcon, and I just want to talk about it really quick. You cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. So first thing, of course, I got God of War. Big deal. Which we actually almost thought we weren't going to get them on launch day, huh, Matt?
Oh, yeah. No, I know. It didn't show like it was shipping until like a little bit the day before.
For you, mine, it didn't even show shipping at all until it set out for delivery. That's what freaked me out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, we thought Amazon was going to F us, so we were freaking out. I almost was going to go to GameStop and just buy it and then return the Amazon one when it showed up a day later. I was really worried it wasn't going to come in. It's like, why pre-order? You know what I mean? If you're not going to get it the day of. But anyways, we did. So Amazon, we're still BFFs. Thank you. Came through. And we got them like within like 5 minutes of each other too, even though we live in completely different areas.
Oh, I know.
That was pretty funny. So, but yeah, so God of War. Another thing that I picked up, Matt, I got Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron for the Genesis. Have you ever played that?
No, I've only ever played, I think, the one on Super Nintendo. Or wait, or was Toe Jam and Earl on Super, or was that only on Genesis? I can't remember now.
Genesis only. I think you're thinking of Earthworm Jim.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. No, I've never played Toe Jam and Earl then.
So Toe Jam and Earl, I picked that up for, I think, so the guy did like a bundle for me. I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to take care of some show notes. So the guy did a bundle for me, so I got Toe Jam and Earl Panic on Funkatron on the Genesis. I remember my buddy Jake had this back in the day, and I just played it at his house. I didn't really own it, and I always kind of wanted it. It's kind of funky. There's like a lot of like funky 90s beats and beatboxing and dancing, and I think you have to dance sometimes. Like there's like little stations you come across. It's totally a platform game, but they take advantage of all this funk, if you will. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat game. It's super colorful, super good use of colors, something that games today are afraid to use, except for God of War, and I'll get to that. So check that out. I got that. I got it for a good deal. I also got DuckTales on the NES. Matt, you're familiar with DuckTales, I assume, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know I played the original when I was a kid, but the last time I played it was getting the remastered on the Wii U.
Okay.
And I mean, it's an okay game. I've never been a big fan of it, but it's a fun little platformer.
Wow. So I've played it here and there. I haven't really tried to tackle it. Some people regard this game as one of the best games on the system. And you wouldn't agree with that, huh?
No, because they're wrong.
Nice. I like that.
They can just revel in their wrongness.
So I've just always wanted it every time I see it everywhere, and it's come down in price recently. I don't know why. It's dropped about $10 in value. So I saw it there sitting there next to Toe Jam and Earl. I was like, yeah, I'll grab that. And the other game I got was Assassin's Creed Unity on the Xbone. Aiden is super duper duper into Assassin's Creed right now, and he's kind of trying to get his hands on all of them and play them all. So I grabbed that for him.
That's the France one. Okay, yeah.
Yep. And he's been doing it all week. In fact, he's kind of pissy right now because we're doing the podcast. I had to kick him out of here. So yeah, but I got that for $10. So basically what happened was the guy said if you spent over $25, he would give you 20% off. So I snagged all three of those for $39. So you really can't beat that. So grab those. The other thing that I got isn't a game, but is awesome. And this is one of the things that you can only get by going to cons, basically, unless you know who to follow on Etsy or something like that. But I got a badass Mega Man painting. It's a print. It's a really high-end one. It's signed by the artist. Everything. It's framed. It's Mega Man. I'm going to take it down, actually, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
I just hung it earlier, and it's right next to me. So, I don't know. I can't see. Where's Skype? Come back. Okay, there we go. It's kind of shitty to see on the camera.
A weird painting.
I got a pic going up. It's all done by hand. It's a hand painting. It looks like crazy futuristic Mega Man. And
yeah, that does look weird.
Dude, $10. $10 for like a legit piece of artwork already in a frame. So great for the game room. It's by Electric Shoebox Studios, electricshoebox.com. I told him I'd give him a shout out because he hooked it up. He took $5 off just for talking to me. He had a shitload of stuff. Check him out. It's all pretty neat how he does it. And so there you go. That was the last of my pickups from Playcon. So if you guys ever need to, you ever looking for artwork, gaming artwork, things like that for your game rooms or just your house in general, the only place you're really going to find that stuff is going to a con. So that's another reason why we are all we're trying to hit up these cons. It's not just to get out there and everything, but this is where you're going to find all the stuff you're looking for. This is where you're going to find the rare games. This is where you're going to find people wanting to trade and make deals for them. This is where you're going to find crazy one-off artwork. Like I tweeted out a while, or I'm sorry, not tweet. I Instagrammed out a while back a giant Game Boy Pokemon Yellow cartridge that I have hanging on my wall. I got that at a con last year, and at a great price. So, you guys got to get out there. You got to do things. We need to get the community kind of to show up and show out. So that's one of the things that we're trying to push this year as a show. Now, let's see here. Other things that I've got going on. So basically, what else did I do this week gaming related? I redid my game room. I'll have some pictures up from that too. I had to hang a bunch of shit. I've had shelves. Oh my God, I've had shelves sitting around for literally ever, just sitting here taking up space. And my wife got me the cereal, the Mario cereal boxes, both different ones. I'm sorry, my wife didn't get them. Gosh, I'm sorry guys, I'm so scatterbrained right now. So I picked up the 2 different types of Mario cereal. A couple of guys at work got them for me. Shout out to James, shout out to Chris. And they've been sitting there, and that was kind of the last straw. I've had a bunch of stuff I haven't been able to put on display because I've had these freaking shelves sitting here. So my game room is super pimp and tight right now. I got a lot of neat shit on display around here, and starting to come around how I like it. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Let's see here. What else have I done? So God of War, I don't want to get into too much. Matt had to step away for just a quick second here. Oh, let's see. Kind of want to clip that Killer Bees is carrying the show. So yes, I am. Thanks, Hojin, for looking out. So before we get into our full review of the new God of War, there was actually a pretty cool article that I read this week from Game Crate, and they're asking the question basically: is God of War the best looking game of all time? And normally I would scoff at that, because basically PC always wins this argument, hands down. Well, I have a PC that's not even arguably better than hardware than my PS4. It is, absolutely. It's far more capable, and I have a lot of modern games, and I love gaming on it. But I gotta say, my peasant non-pro PS4, the new God of War, holy shit! These it might actually be the best looking game. If they would port that to the PC, it would probably be next level. If they ported this over to the PC, I would be blown away by it, because how it already looks on the PlayStation is absolutely ridiculous. Like the level of detail, like Matt and I were talking about it the other day, and you can see like the little imperfections on Kratos's like arms, like the little dimples, and it looks like real skin. And I don't just mean like when you're zoomed in close, like all the time. And it's not just the characters or the sprites, it's everything. It's the environment, it's the trees, it's the rocks, it's absolutely everything. And I just don't know how they pulled this off. I guess because it's it's an exclusive for Sony, so they've got, and it's late in the console's life, so they know how to utilize it. I'm not sure what it is, but it is absolutely stunning. It is probably graphically one of the nicest looking games that I've seen. Yes, I know it's not 60 frames per second. Yes, I know it's not, 120 frames per second or whatever, but it is, at least to look at, phenomenal. And that being said, I haven't noticed a whole lot of slowdown or frame drops. Matt has it on the Pro, and we'll get his take on this in just a little bit. And I actually stopped by his house on my way to pick up shirts from Brian. But I watched it on his Pro on 4K, and it's cool because you can toggle it between frame rate priority and graphic priority. And he had it basically the whole time trying to prioritize frame rate, which is pretty cool because it is buttery smooth at 60 frames. I will say that. It definitely is noticeable, and I know last week I talked about how it doesn't matter if it's 30 frames. We'll take that with a grain of salt. I was meaning things that were intended to be only at that, not things that can run better. Obviously, I'm all for better frame rates. So that being said, I saw it both versions at Matt's house, and when he kicked it up to 4K, yeah, the frame rate dropped a little bit. Not that it ever got where it wasn't smooth or dropped below 30 frames by any means, but holy shit. The detail on this game it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Like, another thing that I alluded to actually a little bit ago as well about games using color when I was talking about Toe Jam and Earl. Toe Jam and Earl is very colorful, as were a lot of games from the 16-bit era, and it's something that we miss. Everything is now in like all these muted colors, these earth tones, these dark, browns, grays, greens, what have you. And it works for your military type games or your stealth games and stuff like that, where it's not real, it's not supposed to be super colorful. But, and of course, we see games like Overwatch and Fortnite coming out and using colors, thank God. But this game is obviously it's the concept of the game is not realistic, but the world, I guess, could be possibly. I'm talking about like the fauna, the flora and the fauna. So you've got your rocks and your trees and all that, and the color, especially too. There's a part where you're gonna meet an NPC, and you're gonna kind of go to her house and her garden and all that. And my God, the colors, the bright colors that they use and popped, and it worked. It didn't look fake. It didn't look Overwatch or any of that. Holy shit. It was absolutely amazing, you guys. This is what we need in more modern games, and they are just nailing it. Now, previously, the reigning champ, and we spoke at this at length, and I disagreed with Matt on this slightly for one topic. Previously, the champion for at least console gaming graphics was Horizon Zero Dawn, and I would be willing to bet to say that that's actually a good-looking game regardless of PC versus console, so on and so forth, and it is good. I didn't like the mouth tracking was really bad, really, really bad. The mocap they did for the mouth movements were terrible, and sometimes the facial expressions were off too. They're not where it makes it unplayable, but that really messed it up for me. And it looked good. It did. It probably was one of the best looking games. That and Uncharted 4. Oh my God, Uncharted 4 was like this revelation. But guys, listen to me when I tell you this. God of War is absolutely the champ. It's not even close. The graphic, I don't know how they did this on a PlayStation 4. On my regular ass peasant PS4, I have no idea how they did this. It absolutely blows my mind. I love it. So again, check it. If you don't buy it, at least look. There's all these videos on YouTube running around of the comparisons, between the different games and the different systems in the PS4 Pro versus the regular and all that. Definitely check them out. It's pretty amazing. Hey, Matt. So one of the things I went on, I didn't want to jump into the review of God of War, but I did take the time, and I probably would have just bored you anyways, but I'll give you the highlights here, and so you can chime in. Is I went right into the news topic that I listed there from Game Crate about how good looking God of War is. And they're saying that they're asking the question, is God of War the best looking game of all time? I mean, they're putting it against PC and everything. See, I just said that it is. What would you say graphically looks better than this?
I mean, you can go and look at, Fallout 4 mods that will put God of War to shame. I mean, if you were to go Fallout 4 just base, no, God of War looks better. But since, PC has the ability to mod and especially lighting textures and all that stuff, it's not the best looking. And then also
mods aside,
Final Fantasy 15 also looks really, really good.
Not as good as this. No way.
See, that's one of my problems. I've never been much of a graphic whore in the terms of, there's like, I'm not stating that the game doesn't look good. The game looks really awesome and fantastic. It's just, to me, it's not the best looking game of all time, but it's very subjective.
Okay, so we're going to disagree there, but would you at least agree that what they're doing on PlayStation hardware with this game and how it looks is absolutely mind blowing? Like, should we be getting games? graphically. Like, dude, the detail and the color and
okay.
I mean, just look at the textures on everything on a console. Like, how are they doing this? Like, the console shouldn't be able to be this good, and the lighting and stuff. Now, mods aside on PC games, I'm more speaking to, out of the box or from the OEM. But it just, I mean, Matt, I played games recently on the PC, and my PC is definitely more powerful than my PlayStation. And this looks better than anything I played on PC recently, and I'm able to play stuff at Ultra.
What have you played on PC recently?
So let's see. So I've got. I'd have to pull up Steam here just to make sure, and Epic and all that. But I mean, I've played, of course, Fortnite. That doesn't really count. No. Although it does look really good on the PC compared to console. I've played PUBG. I played PUBG at max settings.
I wouldn't even. PUBG's a joke because of how fucking buggy it is.
Bugs, sure. Graphically, it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've seen, especially the environments are pretty good, but they aren't close to God of War. I can tell you that. I played, what was it, Wolfenstein, the New World Order, or the New Order, which is supposedly supposed to be this amazing thing. I played the demo of the new Wolfenstein, which does look really, really good, but it almost looks, everything looks wet, though. Like, the way they did the lighting in that game, everything looks wet. I don't
like everything's been smeared with Vaseline.
No, it looks literally wet, like, and shiny. Like, it's like your t-shirt on your shoulder shouldn't be shiny. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm splitting hairs here. I'm not trying to say that game looks freaking amazing. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't, but to me, and I guess I need to revisit this, and I shouldn't have gone off on a rant, but man, I've been the whole time I've been sitting here playing it. Like, it's way better than Horizon Zero Dawn visually. It's way better than Uncharted 4 visually. It's not even close. Like, Matt, when you're outside of that the witch's house, dude, the color for all the plants and shit around there, I was just blown away. I'm like, this is great. This is supposed to be a dark, shitty game, where you're battling hell creatures and shit,
Yeah.
And the color was just popping, man. Anyways.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the colors, like I said, the graphics are good. That's not knocking that down at all. But as far as for me, I mean, it's not the best looking game of all time because it's going to happen. Red Dead Redemption is going to come out, and this same article is going to come out, and
good point.
It's going to be the same thing, but. Like I said, I don't know. It's a very good looking game. That's just pretty much end it there. I mean, I would love to see this on PC. It would just look even more amazing on PC.
I actually said that it would be crazy to see with how good it looks on this, that it would be crazy to see what it's like on PC.
I just thought of something. You know what I do notice, and I don't know if you've noticed this too. So Kratos's body looks very detailed when he's walking around and all that. But when he goes in the boat, it's all the textures and details sort of go away.
When he's in the boat?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Pay attention to it next time. You'll notice, I mean, not that he looks all of a sudden really bad, but you notice the level of detail on his body just starts to go away.
I didn't notice that because I did pay attention to it as you're walking around and fighting, and I noticed that it stays as good as it always has. Wow, in the boat. Okay, I wonder if that's due to like the water, like the system's having a hard time with having to generate water, so much water, especially with how big like that water area that you're traversing when you're in the boat. I wonder if that takes a lot of horsepower, so they had to make a compromise, and that was one of them.
Probably.
I'm going to look at that. I didn't notice that. I'm definitely going to check that out. I was telling everybody too that I had stopped by your house and you were showing me the difference between the frame rate and the actual graphics, where you can kind of choose which one you want to prioritize, which I thought was really cool. That's like a PC type feature to have,
I prioritize frame rate because Final Fantasy 15 has the same thing for the Pro, and I always prioritize frame rate. I don't care about the graphics looking slightly better.
You want a buttery smooth.
Oh yeah, I can't stand that slowness. Even though it's not slow, it's you want to be able to react as quick as you can.
Yep, absolutely. So Matt, let's get into our review. So we kind of talked about graphics and everything. We got that out of the way. Let's talk about the game itself.
So do we want to get into gameplay or story? Which one do you want to get into first?
Well, we have to be careful with story because spoilers, because it's like a brand new game. I don't want to give too much away. So let's do that since it'll probably be pretty short because we can't talk too much about it. And then we'll get into gameplay because I got a lot to say about gameplay.
Okay. I guess my first sort of thoughts on the story so far is this doesn't feel like a God of War game at all. When you compare it to the other games and frankly, the story, and I know where you're at in the game, and the farther that I'm getting into the game, I really hope that there's some sort of ties and connection to at least, even if it's a one-line explanation as to what happened after God of War 3. Because spoilers, after God of War 3, Kratos kills Zeus. He basically kills the entire Greek pantheon except for, oh shit, what's the love goddess? Athena?
Athena.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. Is it Athena?
Yeah, because I know in God of War 3, he basically screws her right before he goes to fight Hades or some shit. So
yes, correct. Yep.
Essentially, he destroys the entire Greek pantheon, and then we don't really know what happens. And then you start off of God of War that he had a wife. Because spoilers, his wife's dead.
Let's set the tone real quick then, since we were talking about this. We're not going to spoil the new game, but the other games have been out for so fucking long. If you guys don't want to know, skip ahead like 5 minutes because we are going to talk about it. So if you don't know, and honestly, this might help people maybe that haven't played the other games or don't have the time to, Matt. Maybe we'll save them, so they can jump into this one a little bit.
True.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So then the beginning of this game, you find out Kratos' wife, or I don't know, a lover, wife, they don't really state it yet, and then, has died, and they're going to go take her ashes up a mountain. And you have your 10, 11-year-old son, Atreus, with you. And so the tone of the game is vastly different compared to previous God of War games, because previous God of War games was not so thematically. It's very different because the previous God of War games were all about revenge because, after what Ares did to Kratos, and then
it's all revenge
and what
all
Zeus,
revenge driven. Yeah.
And what Zeus has done to Kratos. And it's all very about vengeance and killing and all that. And this one
and banging bitches.
Yes. And this one is very different tonally. And while that's not a bad thing, it just, to me right now, like I say, where I'm at in the game, the more and more I play it, the less and less I'm liking the story, because it feels like it has no connection to the previous games. And the more and more I can't stand that fucking kid. He's really getting on my nerves. And
really?
This is the question I wanted to pose to you, because you have a son.
Sure.
And the way the interaction between Kratos and his son are, maybe this is more common towards having a son, that where you feel you can connect to it more. Whereas I was more expecting a game of maybe the son wasn't going to be with you the entire time. And because when you look back at the way Kratos' attitude was in the previous game, he was this, fuck you, I don't give a shit anything about you, I'm going to kill you. And now he's just having to reprimand a little kid every 5 seconds, it feels like.
Well, I think that kind of ties into, even though, man, I completely agree with you. This game does not, story-wise, and I was starting to kind of come around to that as well, to that same kind of idea. It does not feel like a God of War game story-wise, but in a way, it's giving us the part of Kratos that we didn't know before he went on his vengeance and fury rage, because he had a kid, he had a wife and a kid, and he did love them, and obviously he had to be a father to them, to his daughter. So we are kind of seeing what he's like as a dad. But this is cool because whereas the women of that older culture and stuff like that would have been kind of, looked upon, unless they were a goddess, looked upon as weak and left behind, which is kind of what I get how his daughter and wife were treated. And I'm not trying to get into what's right or wrong. I'm just saying Greek mythology and the time and how the game is. I don't believe any of this. So anyway, so that being said, his son gets to go around with him, probably because one, he has nobody else to watch the son, but also it's the son's job to become a warrior or whatever. So he's kind of taking him along and doing that. So I feel like that's probably the only aspect that's actually making it be a God of War game, and it's just a God of War game that we've never seen or played before. He doesn't bother me much. I mean, he talks a bit much. I don't really give a shit. But Matt, as an asset in the game, I've been upgrading the shit out of him. It's pretty cool, actually. Helps out a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, not saying that he isn't useful or anything. He's a useful NPC, but
Yes.
it's, I guess, story-wise, I'm just not feeling connected to the story. I'm almost feeling like I give no shits about what happens to this kid. I almost hope he gets kidnapped and
Jesus.
freaking and I can attribute it to this. It's sort of like when you go somewhere with your kid and your kid's just acting up really bad and you tell them, all right, stop or we're going to go home, you know? And they're good for like 5 seconds. Then they just keep at it again. You're just like, oh my God. I almost feel like some of my thoughts are, I come to play this game because I don't, you know, I want to like kill things and all that shit and not think about my kids or whatever, right? But here I am playing a fucking game, being a father, and having to listen to a little kid bitch at me. Well, I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I'm just trying to play a game, god damn it. So Aiden's watched me play a bit so far. I won't let him play the game, but so far it's been, you know, there's been nothing really that big of a deal. And I'm totally starting to refer to him as boy. Like, get over here, boy, and things like that. So he's not liking that very much. But I don't know. I'd see... It's not bothering me as bad as it's bothering you, and I see where you're coming from, and I don't know why, and maybe it'll fuck with me now, but it's fine to me. He doesn't bother me too much. He talks a bit much, you know, for my liking, but of course he would have to. He's a character and he's part of it. It would feel more fake if he never said anything.
I'd be fine with that if there was an option to just shut him up.
Off. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm also wondering how much power the kid actually has. Like, are we going to find out if he got any of the godness passed on to him? I mean, I know Kratos started life as a mortal, but as a mortal, but you know, he was a god when he had him. So anyways, but I'm kind of wondering about that. Real quick, my son actually asked 2 questions, and through Googling stuff for the show, I realized this is like one of the most asked questions about the game. Is number 1 is why does he have the red tattoos, and then 2, why is his skin like paper white, like notebook paper white? And so real quick, and again spoilers, but you guys, this shit was revealed in the first one, I think.
Yeah, in the very first game.
So his brother was taken by Zeus and killed because the kid was born with a birthmark in the same places that Kratos' tattoos are. And it was thought that would be the one that would end Zeus, right? That's like the way the myth goes. So they snatched the boy up and Kratos couldn't do anything about it. He was essentially trapped. And they killed his brother, so he tattooed all that onto him to remind him, you know, to never let that happen again, and this and that, kind of in remembrance of his brother. So it's to mimic his brother's birthmark. So there's that. Now the notebook paper white skin is actually because when he kills his kids, his wife and his kid, I guess there was some creepy ass troll lady type person waiting outside before he went in, and she tried to stop him from going in there, and he told her, fuck off, you know, I do what I want. He goes in anyways, and of course it was a trick, and he ends up killing his wife and kid. Well, on his way back out, to add insult to injury, she basically takes those ashes and curses them to be all over his skin, so he has to wear their ashes essentially for all eternity to remind him of the mistake he made. So lot of bad times associated with his look, but there is a story behind it. So if you guys don't know, there it is. You know, if it's spoilers, I'm sorry, but there you go. So that's a little bit of story for you on it.
Yeah, going back to the story, I just really hope that they somehow tie the previous games to this one. Just give us a little bit of background as to why Kratos changed. I mean, even if it's like 1 or 2 lines of dialogue, I'd be satisfied. But right now, it's the only thing that's saving this game for me is the gameplay. Honestly, that's the only thing. It's right now I'm not giving 2 shits about the story. I don't give 2.
So I'm wondering if we're ever gonna like how. Well, I'm sure we'll find out that in between, because the way God of War happens is you've got the main God of Wars and they tell a story or whatever, but the in between stuff has always been like the PSP. You know what I mean? And there was like a mobile game back in like 2007, which is like really terrible, by the way. They tell the stories, parts of them elsewhere, and they don't have another outlet right now. Sony is just the PlayStation, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get a different game that'll be on the same engine or something that'll tell that story, Matt. But they do eventually seem to come out with the missing parts of the story or additional story.
I'm hoping.
So, but as far as story stuff goes, yeah, so if you guys are looking for this, grab the collection on PS3 and then grab the remastered 3 on PS4. And then there's God of War Ascension, which is a standalone game on PS3. And then there's 2 God of Wars, not made by Santa Monica Studios, but actually feel exactly like a God of War on the PSP. In fact, I really enjoyed the PSP games.
Or you could also buy God of War Sagas on PS3, which gives you all 5 of them, plus God of War Ascension. Because God of War Sagas gives you 1, 2, and 3, and the 2 PSP games as downloads. And then you can get God of War Ascension.
Gotcha. There you go. So that would get you completely the whole collection, and probably the best way to play it. I'm usually like the type of guy that wants to play stuff on the original hardware, but honestly, when it comes to 3D games, sometimes the up-resed and shit is a little bit nicer.
Yeah, and plus the God of War 1 and 2 remasters look pretty nice on
really
the
good.
PS3.
Yeah. That's the way I played them. I didn't play them on the. I mean, I've seen gameplay of them on the PS2, but I played them that way as well, and they're really good.
Yeah, you're not missing much if you try to play God of War 1 and 2 on PS2. You're really not.
Nope. And the only, the only exception to that would be playing the 2 PSP ones on the PSP if you wanted to, or maybe you can't get the download if it's not available anymore. That screen's small enough that it doesn't hurt it. To not be remastered, and it plays really well on that thing. I beat both of those. They're really good. Check those out. Even though they're not made by Santa Monica Studios, a lot of people had sort of some reservations about that.
They're still fun games. I mean,
they're still fully God of War, man, too. Like they play, they control, they feel the same, they look the same. The story is a continuation of, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. So should we dive into gameplay, or do you have anything else to say about the story?
I'm trying to think about story. So, yeah, I don't want to give anything away, Matt. There's stuff you and I will talk about offline and shit without too many spoilers. It does not. Maybe we'll start seeing some gods soon to fight and to get revenge on, but it's. Normally, he's after some type of here we go. Here's something the story does that's like an old God of War game, actually, or like a regular God of War game. Not so much in the actual story that's happening, but how they're doing things. Typically, in God of War, you have this main mission, right? And it may change throughout the game. You might accomplish it, and now you're on another mission, right? Whether it's you beat the shit out of this dude, and now you got to go to another one. But what God of War really likes to do is you're out to kill so-and-so, okay, whatever god you're supposed to go enact revenge on, and that's like the main premise for the story. Yeah. But then you get sidetracked because you need to go to this, you need to go to the underworld, or you need to go here to get this, to get that, or somebody fucking kidnaps you on a boat or sends you to hell or something, and now you have to go to this completely different area. You have to do this whole nother set of tasks to even get out of there to move on with the story, and this game does that absolutely, like right off the bat. So as far as gameplay or story, as far as story goes, the story style, like how they keep pulling you around to different shit or to put you in a different realm or all that, that's still there, and that's still very much God of War. Now the narrative might not be feeling like God of War, but I felt like that did feel like a God of War game to me.
Oh, okay, I know what part you're talking about. Yeah,
I'm trying not to spoil it, but try to kind of show that there is still some God of War in its roots. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not completely gone, for sure.
So shall we dive into gameplay then?
Yes, let's.
So I don't know about you. Just one of the first things that has screwed me up is the layout of the... I'm used to it now, but the layout of the attacks and blocks. So if you've played God of War 1, 2, and 3, and even the PSP ones, all the attacks were on the on the symbol buttons, like the square, triangle, X, circle. So for like probably the first hour or two, I would use R1, R2 to try to attack, but when I'm in like a frenzy and trying to do a combo, I'd suddenly start hitting square and triangle at the same time and just be like, fuck, it's not doing anything.
So they would have like the other games, you'd have like your basic attack on the triggers, and then you'd have modifiers by what symbol button you were going to hit, X, triangle, or even more than one sometimes, right? That's what you're getting at, like how it used to be.
Well, no, what it used to be was your attacks were on the
they weren't on the shoulder buttons. The shoulder buttons were modifiers. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm getting for probably the first couple hours I'd get screwed up just because I'm playing God of War and I'm thinking, oh god, I got to try to do this combo that I remember, and but the I'm getting used to the button layouts. It's still kind of screws me up here and there, mainly when it comes to the throwing and the blocking, the L1 and L2 triggers. I feel like sometimes they should be reversed.
Sometimes. I think because you can throw the axe now, you know what I mean? I think that's more akin to shooters. You know what I mean? Because some of that stuff you have to be pretty quick with it. Like there's a couple of chests to open. You have to be like real fast with throwing the axe and pulling it back. So I think that was to make that mechanic work. They had to people are going to have an easier time for something they're familiar with. I think that's where they came from with that.
No, and I get that. I understand that. Though I really do like the axe. The axe is a fun mechanic in terms of, just like your basic God of War, you have combos that you can do. You can unlock more skills. And just the fighting style can be really fun. Do you want to, especially certain enemies, or you're going to want to bash them straight in the face, or maybe you want to do a little bit more range by throwing your axe continuously. And sometimes there's some enemies where you don't want to use your axe at all, and you just want to beat the shit out of them with your shield and fist.
Which is really effective too, by the way. Yeah. He's a badass. I think I like the axe better than the blades.
No, I think I do. Far. No, I prefer the good old blades.
It might be because I'm tired of the blades, and not that I ever thought I was tired of it, but it needed to be refreshed, I think, because there's only so much you can really do with those. Yeah.
No, and I get that. I do agree the axe works better in this game for the type of game it is, for especially the camera movement, because if you remember the previous God of Wars, it's all a fixed static camera angle.
Yeah, guys, that is something different about this. It's a third-person shooter kind of now,
essentially. And I do like that it's not exact. It is a linear game, but it's not. It's sort of like, and it's not open world either. It's sort of like it's almost kind of akin to like a Final Fantasy game, in the sense of your path sort of opens up. You can go straight to the objective if you want, but you want to also explore and maybe get some items and stuff like that.
How many times, Matt, have you tried to like jump up on shit and you know what I mean? You can't, or try to go into areas where in any other game you could totally go there, but there's some invisible barrier. Some of that shit is, but that's on par for God of War. It's not like it's something new. So
that doesn't a good way to explain it. Also, it's like a Zelda game too.
Yeah.
As you unlock more abilities, you can open up more areas.
That's a good point. You do need. That's true. That is true. Real quick to talk about the gameplay. This was actually one of the notes that I had on this, or not the gameplay. I'm sorry, the controls. One thing that I've always not liked about the God of War controls in the past is that although there was some symmetry until now with how you controlled Kratos and his attacks, you always had to learn different combos to do everything in every game. So it's really hard to like just jump into one of the old God of Wars and remember like what you unlocked and what abilities they have and how to use them. And even like between the two PSP games, it's like drastically different. So every time I have to play that, I have to fucking sit there and go in there and read and remember how to do shit and get like your muscle memory back. And they seem to do that with every single God of War. 2 to 3 is a huge, Ascension. Like these are all really, really different controls.
Yeah.
And this game is no different. Not only did they just change like what combo does what or what extra powers you have, but they've, like you said, they've completely fucked up how you even control or do things or beat the shit out of somebody, So,
and like I said, that's why in the beginning of the game I was really fucking up badly because I try to go back to the old combos on the wrong buttons and all that. And
I always have that problem when I switch between, because the last thing I played was I was playing the second PSP game and I was playing Ascension. I haven't finished Ascension yet on PS3, and it is really fucking hard to go between the two.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, you start fucking up, like you do shit, like you'll waste abilities and shit on one, and then you'll be screwed and start all over. So, but yeah, so that was kind of my note on there, is that in that aspect, they have kept up with God of War. It's like, you got to learn all new shit, and you'll never remember how to play this game once you set it down. You're going to, you come back to it. Like, there's no way. And it is too, Matt, actually, how you get your abilities and stuff, the skill tree. You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Like how you upgrade and all that crazy shit. It's way deeper than the other ones. The other ones,
and
always,
it's also way harder to upgrade compared to the other ones, because
a lot, yeah.
Especially because I can remember, especially in God of War 1, there were areas where you could just grind enemies over and over and over again to unlock enough souls or spirits or whatever it's called to upgrade your weapons and skills to the max before you even get to the halfway point of the game.
Yeah, like, what was it? It was like certain chests, like red chests or something like that in the other games, and you would just fill up like your meter or whatever, and you could spend X amount to. You could still. There wasn't as many options as there is now, but there was still like either like one or two things you could kind of choose between to upgrade, and that was it. And I guess we want games deeper and deeper nowadays, and boy, did they deliver with this one. There is so much shit, and it's not just, you need all kinds of shit now to craft and to upgrade. You need like
it's very RPG like now.
It is. You need like certain metals. You need a certain amount of experience points. You need so much money. You know what I mean? And there's fucking, you can equip, there's sockets on your weapons to equip, what are they? What do they call them in God of War?
The gems or something?
They're not gems, they call them. But anyway, same principle, right? Like they really, really went all into that in this game. So if you like that kind of thing, and you haven't liked God of Wars, maybe because they weren't as customizable or whatever, man, this game's got you. And there's multiple different ways you can go with the skill trees and the weapons upgrades, or the weapons in general, and all that stuff, and your armor. Shit, you got armor to worry about now?
Yeah.
Like, whatever happened to Kratos' titties just flopping.
Now, I will say, before you meet the first dwarf, the first blue dwarf, the game is pretty damn hard before you can upgrade your axe and armor and all that. But I have noticed that since I'm at like level 3 right now, and ever since I've gotten to level 3 with like all my weapons and armor and all that, the game hasn't been proving that much of a challenge. Granted, I am playing on normal. I'm not a masochist. I don't care about playing it on the most ultra difficulty. I don't have time to do that shit. All right, I've got kids.
Dude, it's hard enough on normal, bro. Well, I die all the fucking time.
I mean, I guess I'd have to ask you like what you're struggling with, but no, I just found the game really hard before the first dwarf, before you could start actually buying armor.
I didn't necessarily find it over the top hard.
It's not over the top hard. It's just some parts, like, especially when you come across a new enemy and you're not exactly sure how they go.
Oh, true.
And all that. And then once you learn their movement, like that one part in the very beginning where you're fighting like 2 or 3 of the heavier Draugr and all that with the really big clubs, dude, I died like, I don't know how many times.
Away from them. Yeah.
Until I learned their movement, now they're just like, I laugh at them. I'm like, okay.
I know. There was one that I found. It was sort of like a secret. It was down underneath something. I don't remember where. But so, like, you know how like it's the different color, like their health bar. The different color determines how fucking hard they're gonna be to beat. Like green is crazy easy, and then yellow, and so on and so forth. This motherfucker was hiding down below something, and I got to find every secret in these games. So I'm down there, and his motherfucking shit was purple, Matt.
Oh, I've come across a purple one and got like one hit kill.
I had with your shield up, one hit kill.
Yeah,
like
I think I know where you're talking about. Yeah, just
I did beat him by running and dodging and shit away from him, and just it took forever, but I just
I ended up not killing him. I was just like, I'll come back here later.
Yeah, which I think is what you're supposed to do. I totally think I feel like I did that earlier than I should have, but But yeah, so that's an interesting new element as well.
Yeah.
You can still like, I think it's cool. You can still like dodge out of the way of shit like you could
Hmm.
in other God of Wars. They kept that. Like he definitely moves like Kratos.
Yeah,
It's just
and I like how you feel the weight of his attacks too.
oh yeah.
It's it feels very much like when you do your heavy attack, you're gonna feel it. You almost feel like you're feeling it for the enemy.
Yeah, it feels heavy. It feels like effective, I guess
Yeah.
is maybe the word. Yeah. The kid, let's talk about the kid and controlling the kid. I know he's not your favorite, but have you upgraded him like a shitload?
I have probably not as much as you have upgraded his armor. I've upgraded his bow and quiver, and
Oh, okay. Well, that's
I've
about
given him some skills. But
yeah. That's what I've
he's
done as well. It changes him a lot.
yeah, he's definitely can be useful, and especially for any kind of flying enemies, he can be useful for stunning them.
Mhm.
But
Or the fast moving ones. Like there's like those. I don't know what they're called, but they're like witches, and they kind of can
yeah,
like when you try
yeah,
to throw something at them, they move out of the way. He can hit them with arrows, and they get stunned and stop for a
yeah,
second, so you can go in and hit them, which is
yep,
nice. But I did notice that when I did one of the skills that upgrades his how much damage his arrows can do, and I've done it where he'll go up and like beat the shit out of them now,
yeah.
and how fast he can shoot arrows and all that, and it makes a hell of a difference. I'm
Oh
sitting
yeah,
there
for
hitting the
sure.
button, and the cool thing is you have some control over him. Like he's gonna go and kind of like grab onto people and fuck with them on his own, but if you need to shoot arrows or whatever, you can do it whenever you want, like on demand, which is pretty cool. I thought he was gonna be super NPC. What is he? He's like half NPC, right? Like, or maybe a
Sort of,
little
kind
less,
of, yeah.
quarter NPC, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I'd give it about a quarter NPC because the only thing you really can control him with is the arrows. That's
Right.
it. There's not much else.
So yeah, but you can, and you can do it whenever you want, which is kind of cool. I didn't expect that, I guess. So as far as gameplay goes, I
Yeah,
thought that was kind of neat. And I do, he helps, man. There's been parts where I'm having a hard time getting through, and I'll be like, you know what, let me try using him more to hold off some of these dudes with
yeah.
arrows while I fuck with this. And sure shit, you get right through it. So, um, but yeah, trying to think, Matt, what else have you noticed about this game that you what do you
Um,
like? How about that?
like I said, the gameplays are really good. The like I mentioned before, you feel the weight of the attacks. The fighting is fun. Um, the the exploration can be nice. It's there's I like a lot of how they lay out some of the quote unquote secrets for the treasure chest and some of the
Mhm.
puzzles. I like how you come into an area and yeah, you do a quick look and okay, everything looks normal, but as you start to explore it a little bit more, you notice this one little nook. It's like, oh, there's a little path that goes around here, and oh, look, there's a treasure chest,
Yep.
full of the hack silver, which that's a fucking weird name, hack silver.
Hack silver, that's the currency,
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. The
and
money.
so the exploration's nice. I do, and I'm wondering if we are able to go back in the beginning of the game because there
I
was
feel like you have to. I feel like at some point you're going to have to
well
be able
because
to.
there's those weird portal things that you find, like those weird
Yep.
mirror portals, and
Yep.
and I do remember seeing one in the near the beginning of the game, and so I'm wondering if those are going to unlock at one point and you can just go back there because I'm missing that one stupid artifact because my stupid self thinking, oh, well, I'll be able to go back there and find it.
Yep.
But right now I can't go back.
When you told me that, I made sure that I'm like, nope, going to find everything now.
Yeah.
Like, so there's something interesting, Matt, in the right as you're meeting the blue troll guy, the weapons repair guy.
Dwarf.
Yeah, in that bridge area, there's an area I went to that's definitely sort of hidden, and there's a fallen like pillar in the way, and you get to it, and the game tells you that you have to come back there later. It says continue to the mountain. Every time
Okay.
it pops up when I get there, and I beat like the whole area. I got as far as I could go, and then I went back, and it still said that. So I feel like there's got to be a reason or a way to go back later on. There has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure, like I said, it's going to open up. It's like you said, it's very reminiscent of like a Final Fantasy / Zelda game where the more skills that you get, stuff's gonna unlock, and I'm enjoying that aspect. That's probably what's saving the game for me is the gameplay and the ability to explore and all that, and it's making it enjoyable, and it's definitely gonna be a way longer game already than the previous God of Wars, because I'm probably, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 hours into it by now. So, and I didn't look up story spoilers, but I was just curious as to how far ahead in the game I was. So I found a walkthrough that just gave chapter based on and all that, and I think I'm like maybe 1/3 of the way through the game. And
dude, that's so fucking crazy that there's already a chapter by chapter walkthrough, by the way.
Of course. So,
but it came out Friday.
I know.
You know what I mean? And like somebody has that shit. Not only have they played it and beat it, but they've got all the screenshots and write-ups and tips and all that. Like, Jesus Christ.
They need them views, bro. They need them clicks. So I just quickly looked up to where I was in the game, and it's like I'm not even halfway through the game now, and I'm just like, holy fuck, how long is this game? So
it's definitely probably, I feel like it's going to be one of the longer ones for sure.
Oh yeah. It's probably going to be the longest God of War, because each God of War, 1, 2, and 3, and I haven't beaten Ascension and I haven't beaten the PSP games, but each God of War, maybe if you're going slow and don't really know what you're doing, maybe they can last you less than 10 hours. Maybe they're all typically rated around 12 to 14 hours is what they're like rated at, and I'm assuming that's like a super complete type walkthrough, and the PSP games are 6 to 7 hours. They're about half, and they're all linear games too. That's the thing. It's
so judging by what you're on, you're talking somewhere in the 20 to 30 hour range for this game then, which is a lot. Yeah. So shit.
I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on the gameplay?
As far as the gameplay goes, I don't like sometimes the having to make the axe return. It's just probably just me forgetting it.
Oh, I've had that happen so many times. Like, I'll be in the middle of a fight, fighting 10 guys or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll throw the axe, and then I'm punching, and then I'm trying to do an axe combo or something. Like, why the fuck is it not working?
I think it'd be better if like the button that you throw the axe with, if you hold it, it stays somewhere. And then so that way when you let go, it comes back. Like sometimes like you'll really fucking need it and that shit will be gone. I like too that the different types of like, so when you start off, it's got like ice power, I guess, or frost or whatever they call it. And when you come across an enemy that's based in ice or frost or whatever it is, you can't hurt them with that axe.
Nope, you can't.
Which
so
I like that.
Punch them. Punch the shit out of them.
Yeah. Have you done the Fury, or is it Fury or Rage? Spartan Rage.
Oh yeah.
Have you done that? That's the shit,
dude.
Which that's something that's in a lot of all of them, I guess.
Yeah.
To an extent. So, dude, you beat the hell out of some motherfuckers with that.
Yeah, I do like that. That's a little throwback to the old God of Wars, and it's that can be very, very useful. Especially when your health is low and you have a Spartan Rage available, and it allows you to regain some health and just also beat the shit out of people. It's very nice. Very nice.
So good. Especially with like the bigger enemies or the ones with the larger hit bars.
Yeah.
So, but I really like it so far. I kind of like, Matt, that it's not open world. I'm kind of digging
I'm very glad it's not open world, because if it was, I would have just been like, oh god, why'd you make God of War an open world? No, I'm glad it's more like a Zelda type S game.
We need that sometimes. I mean, everything is a fucking sandbox now. Everything is a sandbox game. I mean, I'm playing Far Cry. It's a good sandbox game, but it's a sandbox game.
Well, it's also one of the reasons why I haven't gotten any farther in Horizon Zero Dawn, or Horizon Dawn Zero. Which one is it?
Zero Dawn, you nailed it. Yeah. That game is still, so it is sandbox and it is open world, but you do have to unlock regions in that game, which is, I guess, a hybrid, but it is still very open. You're absolutely right. And it's massive too. This is nice. And this doesn't make you feel like you're stuck. Like, because there's secrets to go and explore, and you can go whenever you please. You can walk off, and it doesn't fuck up the story. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of you still have freedom. It's just the game wants you to go a certain way, and he's on a journey and shit. So I mean, he's on a whatever he's doing. So I mean, it would be that way in real life, anyways. You wouldn't just, all right, but I'm gonna go to the other side of the map real quick. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's so. But yeah, as far as gameplay goes, that's I think we pretty much covered all the points that I had, Matt. You good on that as well?
Yeah, I think I've hit everything I wanted to talk about, really. Talked about
Cool.
story and gameplay, so yeah.
Excellent. So, do you recommend this game?
Yeah, if you want a really good type, I wouldn't exactly call it a beat 'em up game, because the previous God of Wars are definitely like hack and slash beat 'em ups. For sure. This game is definitely more akin to Legend of Zelda, and oh god, what's another game?
Like an action RPG, I guess, maybe.
Sort of like an action RPG, and shit. There's another. Oh my god, maybe something like, I wouldn't really call The Witcher, but
yeah, kind of though. No,
sort of, kind of. But it's a really fun game. And if you can connect with the story, while even though I have my qualms about the story, the story's not bad. It's not poorly written or anything. It's just I'm not connecting to it, so that's why I'm not being able to enjoy it. But it's not a poorly written story. I'll just make that clear.
It's not, and Kratos, the guy that does Kratos's acting, is on point as always.
Yeah, it's weird that his voice changed. He almost sounds black in a way.
Oh my god, Melissa said that. She said that.
It's weird because I can clearly picture Kratos' voice in my head. So it's been taking getting used to this new voice. Not that it's bad by any means. It's just you sort of have to like, wait, that's not his voice. But you get used to it though.
So, all right. Well, I would, real quick, I guess, I highly recommend it. And in fact, if you're torn right now between Far Cry and God of War, I'm going to say God of War, which was what I kind of said already before I played God of War. That was sort of my advice on Far Cry. However, if you're not into linear games, or you're not into God of War in general, Far Cry is still a good option. But I think for me, God of War, and I think a lot of people, is definitely where it's at. It's an exclusive, so sorry guys, it's PlayStation only. You're gonna just have to get a PlayStation, I guess. But honestly, is that such a bad thing nowadays to have stuff? And you can get them pretty cheap now too. So if you don't have one, or shit, if you just want to get into God of War and you haven't been into PlayStation or whatever, just get a used PS3 and start playing all those. They're so good. There's reasons why they were like, game of the year and all kinds of shit. There's reasons why. And exclusives are, the reason why people flock to Sony currently. So if you have Sony and you're not playing this, what are you doing? This is the point. Otherwise, you might as well be playing fucking Fortnite on anything.
Yeah, very true.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So, yeah. Well, Matt, where can they find us, sir?
They can find us on Twitter at VCR Gaming, and we're definitely hit us up there. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/VCR Gaming, on Instagram at VCR Gaming. Really trying to do better with posting pictures. Even I'm trying to do better with that. And you can find us on our website, vcrgamingpodcast.com. And if you want to email us for any questions, or you just want to have a chat with us or anything like that, email us at vcrgamingpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find me.
Sorry, go ahead,
just going to say, you can find me personally at Zubatron on Twitter, Zubatron. What about you?
So you can find me at Killabeez2T, KILLABEEZZ, the number 2, the letter T on the tweets. Matt, where can they watch, if you're listening to us currently, where can they watch us live every Sunday?
They can watch us live on twitch.tv/Zubatron, Zubatron. And these episodes also go up on the YouTube channel. Just look for youtube.com/Zubatron.
So there you go, guys. So tons of ways to find us, to watch us. I'd like to point out, too, that Thanks to Hojin for dropping by too in the chat. If you guys do catch us live, you can interact with us. A lot of times we do make sure to include Jell because we want to be interactive. And check us out there. All right, Matt. Well, thank you everybody, and we will talk to you guys next week.
All right. Have a great night.